Greetings and welcome to the 2025 Insights Sun Country Regional Science and Engineering Fair training session for judges. The fair will be February 15th at the Franklin High School Magnet campus on Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Our purpose today is to inform you all of your role and the important part that it plays in the student science fair journey so far. We will review the expectations and schedule, and we will share the judging criteria and format as well. And finally, we will clarify any part of this role process by asking or taking any questions. We'd like to thank you first and foremost for subscribing and participating in this process. This is not possible without your all's assistance. This year we have a record number of students at 390. That's a 45% increase since last year. And we are indebted to you for the service that you're providing to these young scholars. And we really appreciate your time and effort and the time you spend with the kids. Thank you so much. Our participating districts around the region and the city of El Paso include Clint, El Paso, Socorro, Isleta, the Burnham Wood Schools, the El Paso Homeschoolers Association, Harmony Radford, and the Country Day School. At the bottom, we have about 350 middle and high school students. That was about 2 weeks ago. As of this morning, we have almost 400. The kids have been on a science fair journey since the fall, including their campus fair, where they won there. Those winners proceed on to the district fair sometime in December or January, and they win there. And then they are advanced or promoted to our fair, the regional fair, where you will be a judge. And that will be Saturday, February 15th, 2025, at the Franklin High School Magnet campus. Not the main campus of the high school, but the Magnet campus. And those that qualify at the regional fair, first or second place, will move on to the state fair in March at Texas A&M. And there will be a few that qualify automatically at our regional fair, but also at the state fair for the international fair in May 2025, which will be in Columbus, Ohio. There will be over 120 countries represented there. The judges' schedule. We ask that judges arrive between 7:30 and 8 for a welcome breakfast, and we will do a short briefing of similar to what we are doing right now with the training. We will review the process, and we ask that you go to the hospitality area for judges in the cafeteria. This will be a private room for judges, and that's where we will have the breakfast and the lunch, as well as a private area where you can rest or ask information, but it'll be strictly for judges. The judging will take place in the gymnasium, which is across the way from the cafeteria, and we will begin judging about 8:15 probably. That will last till 12 o'clock. The first judging session will be just after 8 and go to about 10. That's the middle schoolers. And then the second judging session will be for high schoolers, which will be from about 10 to 12. Lunch will be available for judges, complimentary catered hot lunch from Taquitos El Paso. That will be from 12 to 1. You are welcome to enjoy that. And then if you are willing and want to stay after lunch to help us with the final sweepstakes best of show winners, you are allowed to stay and help us out probably till about 2 o'clock, but it may go till 3 o'clock. This is deciding the best of the best after uh, uh, your role in the morning of the general judging. So the purpose of the science fair is to give the young people the opportunity to do some science, to learn about a new subject, or more about an old one that they have enjoyed, to learn what scientists and engineers do, and of course to have fun doing all of the above. The judge's job is to be their champion. We probe skillfully and deeply. We leave the student feeling positive about their accomplishments, and we help the student learn something from the experience. There will be a set of questions and a rubric that we will provide for you where you can use some of the reflective questions for metacognition so the students can think about their thinking rather than looking for answers to specific things. We encourage a more of an open-ended question, reflective thought about their project approach. This is entirely up to you, but the questions we provide you will be more of the open-ended style. We suggest that when you meet your student, and you will be in pairs, all judging is done in pairs, and you will work with the same partner throughout the process. One of you will be judge one, the other one will be judge two, consistently throughout your time of judging. We suggest you meet the student, introduce yourself with a smile, and I always like to take a moment to say, "How you doing? My name is Mr. Olivas." Give me a moment to take in your board for a while. There's a lot of information on their boards, so we suggest you go ahead and take it all in, rather than trying to look at everything as they're speaking. So I usually take about 30 seconds kind of to take it all in. I then say, "Okay, go ahead and you can begin." And let them speak uninterrupted. Listen with curiosity. Afterwards, you're welcome to ask as many questions as you'd like. Ask open-ended questions for reflection and thought. For example, how might this be applied to future applications in this area of science? What are your thoughts about the failures you experienced? Or what things might you change in the future? What questions do you have now? Those type of things for reflection, just kind of see where they are and where the type of thinking that they have regarding their project. Of course, you're welcome to ask them specific questions about their statistics, their variables and their values and their methods. Have a conversation with them. It is an interview, but it's a conversation more than anything. And afterwards, please assess independently of your judging partner. Do not discuss what you will put down on the judging sheet, the Scantron sheet, and just take about 2 minutes, a minute to go ahead and fill in that Scantron sheet. And then there will be some volunteers throughout the area of the judging floor where they will be taking your Scantrons over to the judge's table. So your job will only be to assess the students based on your interview and conversation with them, and then fill in the Scantron. You won't have to do any calculations. This whole process should take about 5 to 8 minutes, including from the moment you introduce yourself to the time that you finish your conversation with them. Then the Scantron will take you about a minute to fill in. These are the categories that we have. Let me show the next slide, which sees it a little better. Here we go. So these are the 21 categories here in the black text, and you can see that they're divided into 3 main domains: the life sciences, the physical sciences, and the engineering categories. There will be first place winners in each, well, there will be first, second, and third place winners in each of these categories. And then all the first place winners in each of the categories there will compete for the sweepstakes winner in each domain. So, for example, all the life sciences categories, the first place winners in each one of those 8 categories will compete for the one sweepstakes award in the life sciences. Same for physical sciences domain and the same for engineering. These are the rubrics that you will use to assess their work, their research, the conversation you have with them. It's based on a 0 to 4-point scale. You can see that there is an engineering rubric on the left in orange, and the scientific method or science projects rubric on the right in blue. You can see that they are basically the same, except that the scientific method, for example, number 6. The scientific method here on the right in the blue one, number 6, variables and controls were identified and appropriate, versus number 6 on the engineering rubric, a model or prototype was developed. So there's certain things they will be the same under the same category, design and methodology, but some of the particular criteria are specific to either the sciences or the scientific method versus the engineering design process. If we look at number one on both of them, you can see that number one on the sciences, there must be a hypothesis. It's an experiment, so there's a test. Versus engineering on the left, number one demonstrates a practical need for engineering. So you might want to look over those, especially 1 through 11, where there might be some that are different. However, the items in 12 through 20 are identical for both. On a 4-point scale, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can see that at the top, research problem for both of them, that's a total of 12 points maximum, since 4 is the max. I do want to say that 4 will be extremely rare, as well as 0 should also be extremely rare. I will get more into detail about that here in the next slides. Again, here's some of the similarities in green and some of the differences in red as we go across in items 1 through 11 on both sides. You can see some of the things that are similar and some of the things that are different made explicit here in this graphic. Each student will have a pair of either the science project rubrics or the engineering project rubrics at their table. So you will not be given these ahead of time. You will instead meet the student at their table and they will hand you this sheet. They will already have, if you look on the right side, they will already have their student ID filled in. That's just an example, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that on the label at the top, judge number 1 name. The other one will say judge number 2. So be consistent with which judge you're going to be and go ahead and put your name there at the top. That information contains the project number, the judge's name, the domain, and the category. In this case, the domain is life sciences and the category is animal sciences. And afterwards, you will just fill in the items for 1 through 20 on the rubric, over on the Scantron on the right side in a 0 through 4-point scale, 0 being the lowest, 4 being the highest. I do want to emphasize the point I said earlier. A 0 should be very rare and a 4 should be very rare. In this case, if they are hitting the mark or meeting the standard, then it would be a 3. Many people want to put a 4, but that is reserved for extremely distinguished, exceeds expectations, exceeding standards, above and beyond. It is beyond exemplary and extremely impressive in that aspect. It's distinguished. So please remember that most of your scores are going to be in the 1, 2, or 3 area, with a 4 being very rare. You can have a few 4s throughout your assessment of one rubric of one student, but probably not too many at all. The same goes for the 0. The 0 would be maybe the student isn't even present. They couldn't be there, so we're just looking at the board. Or you gave them several options to tell you what their hypothesis was, and they simply could not. So therefore, it would be a 0 in that case. Again, a 0 and a 4 are extremely rare. If they are meeting the standard and doing what they need to be doing, then it is a 3. Most of your scores will be 1, 2s, or 3s. Another photo of the rubrics here on the left, the engineering rubric in orange, and the right side shows the science projects rubric. By the way, the 2 domains of life sciences and physical sciences will use the rubric on the right, and the engineering categories, I think there's 6 or 7, will use the rubric on the left. Again, the students will already have these at their tables ready for you. Thank you all very much. We appreciate your assistance, your help, your contributions, and we look forward to seeing you. Please feel free to reach out at my number there on the left, and our judge manager, Dr. Moran, He will be the one doing the briefing in the morning on Saturday, and we'll be doing the tabulations and calculations of your results that will be handed to him after you are done with your Scantron judging. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you all very much.